Hello everyone, Brittany and Chris Carmichael here, bringing you the Elevated Life series where we teach you simple mindset shifts to create radical transformation in your life. And today's topic is one that everyone has most likely experienced in their life. And today we're going to be talking about how to heal your heartbreak, or how to heal from a broken heart. So many of us have committed into relationships or experienced things in this life that just crushes us. But from those moments, we grow and we expand and we learn a little bit more about ourselves. So today's topic is really going to touch home and hit the heart. So I want to just take a moment before we get started to really tune into that heart space. So if you've ever experienced heartbreak, you know what that feels like. So I want you to just take a quick moment to do an inventory of how you're feeling right now. I want you to focus your awareness on the inhale of your breath, bringing your breath into your heart and noticing how you feel or what energy is surrounding your heart. So everyone together now, let's take an inhale in. Breathe that into your heart space and notice the energy that surrounds your heart. Is it light? Is it loving? Is it peaceful and calm? Or is it heavy and saddened? Whatever it may be, we're here together to say that you can heal your broken heart. And today we're going to show you how.
Yeah, this is a hugely important topic because, when you intensely love somebody, a lot of times what that means is being very vulnerable in front of them. And so you show them parts of yourself that, you really haven't shown anybody else, or maybe you have in the past, and then, it ended up bad, and you're like, well, now I can't show somebody. And really, how relationships end up working always doesn't just reflect you, but a lot of times it reflects the other person. And you have to get into a space where if a person is going to hurt you, then that's just what's going to happen. And you're going to have to push forward in your life anyways. And so it's really important to start figuring out, what story are you identifying with? A lot of times in relationships, as soon as we break up, we identify with the story that we start telling everybody.
Yeah, your story of suffering. What is that story you're telling everyone, to gain sympathy for?
Yeah, so we call our friend and we say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person did this to me. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe this. And then we get the story. And then we go and we repeat it. And then we repeat it. And
over and over. And it becomes so real because you've said the story over and over and over again.
So every time that you repeat something, every time you say something, this is why a lot of people use affirmations. Whenever you say something, especially when you invoke emotion behind it, that's the big part about doing affirmations, that there has to be an emotion behind it, because otherwise you don't really accept it. Your mind doesn't accept it. But when you have all this emotion and then you tell people the story, you identify with that story and you say, this is what's happening to me.
And it's typically a victim mentality story. It's not like, wow, I just ended that relationship. I feel so great. I learned to grow. I learned to love myself, and I learned what I didn't want. It's typically a victimized story of, he did this to me, or she said that, and I'm not good enough. But what you don't realize is that if the relationship is coming to an end, it's because it served its purpose. And you've gotten what you needed, they've gotten what they've needed, and now it's time to grow and evolve and move on your separate ways.
Yeah, that victim abuser relationship that we create with those stories ends up defining how we see love.
And how we attract the next relationship into our life.
Yeah, so when you tell everybody, I'm this person, people do bad things to me, then you start to create more of that in your life because you're telling your mind.
You're affirming it.
Yeah, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. Listen, your mind isn't trying to give you a good experience or a bad experience. It's trying to give you what you constantly are thinking about. Mm-hmm. And so when you constantly think those things, it goes, hey, let me attract those people in because that's what we want to do.
Erica says she agrees. Letting go of her story has been a huge relief. The cool thing about life is that we are the creators, and we get to decide the experience that we enjoy, because it's what we're speaking, asking for, desiring, and feeling. And so if we're constantly in a story of struggle or a story of pain or blame or shame or guilt or whatever it may be, anger, unforgiveness, resentment, if we hold on to these stories and we cultivate that energy and we build that energy, as Chris says, we magnetize it by law of attraction to our life. But in a moment, you can change your story, say, I am awesome, I am powerful, I am lovable, and I am open to receive all of the love and support that I deserve. And as soon as you shift your story, your energy rises, your vibration raises, and you begin to attract people, situations, and circumstances that reflect that higher energy. And if you just raise it just a little bit, that's enough, because the higher you go, the higher you go.
Yeah, and what she's talking about right there is really important for things just beyond a broken heart, and that is, as you change your story, your life changes. Like, that's the really big deal. So if you start telling yourself one thing, watch how your life starts mirroring that. Mm-hmm. And as you start to tell yourself other stories, now it doesn't necessarily happen the first day. People think, well, if I tell myself, I'm just amazing, I have this amazing life, I'm doing all these amazing things, they think that it's going to happen immediately. And the problem is, stories take time, because we've grabbed all those extra neurosynapses in our brain and told one story. And so those are very powerful, and it takes time for them to start to go away. So the more often you tell yourself a better story, the better life starts to get.
Oh,
and
this
is so big on the heartbreak thing. So if you want to move forward into the next relationship, if that's what you want to do, or spend time just working on yourself, which is perfectly great, you just have to start focusing on the present moment and start either tell yourself a better story, or just drop the story altogether and just focus on what you're doing right now.
And just be here.
Yeah, just be here in the moment. This is what we're talking about when we talk about meditation. It's just about being into what you're doing. If you're washing dishes, wash the dishes. If you're driving your car, just drive. Just totally 100% be there.
I want to bring something up, because talking about being in the present moment and meditating, everyone thinks it's like this big thing, but all it is just being here. And so many times people don't realize that they've identified with their mind and the stories that they've been replaying and replaying and replaying over and over in your mind's eye. So let me ask you this: if you were to watch a terrible movie that was awful, would you ever replay it? Would you ever put it back on your TV and watch that again? Probably not. So why are you doing that with the painful, hardcore memories that you keep playing on repeat? And you build it, and you make it bigger and make it more dramatic, and then you're attracting more of that into your life, and then you're like, why has this always happened to me? You don't realize you're the creator. You're taking it's time to take responsibility.
And it's so simple. It's just changing a story. Mm-hmm. And this is not to say that you didn't go through suffering. This is not to say that the other person's, let's say, off the hook.
No, like, heartbreak is real. Like,
yeah.
You can feel it, and like I said, we have all at some point in our life gone through that, and probably more than we even needed to, but it's something that we universally experience.
Here's the reality, though. If you get into that relationship that you find, and you're like, this is actually, the one fills the one, because you realize why all the other relationships in your life didn't work out. You'll come to that place where you're like, that's why all these other ones, that's why it was so hard back then and stuff. It was to build you into the character that you needed to get the relationship that you really want in your life, and the one that you really deserve. Because we all deserve love.
Relationships are your reflection. So when you enter into a relationship, you're entering into a partnership that says, okay, you're going to be my mirror, I'm going to be your mirror, so that you can look within inside yourself and see who you really are. And the people that we were when we met were not the people that we are today. And it's because we gave each other the space to grow and to see clearly all of the pains and the dramas and the stories that we had been telling ourselves, that we had carried from childhood. And we allowed ourselves to change it. And I'm inviting you to do the same thing. If your story has been one of suffering and trauma, it's not to diminish what you've gone through. We honor you for that. And those struggles make you strong. They make you who you are. And they happen to teach you this exact lesson. So say thank you.
Yeah, to go back and to look at all of the past people that you've been with, all the past relationships, all the past lovers, and to give them a thanks, just a thanks of gratitude. Thanks for being there in a time, because at one point, in one way, you brought them into your life.
You chose them,
like they came into there. Like, it's like when people are like, I hate this job that I'm at. It's like, but you went in there and you applied. Like, this was something that at one point you actually wanted, where you said, oh my gosh, if I could just get this job, or oh my gosh, if I could just be in this relationship, and you got in that relationship and it didn't work out. Like, it's to push you on to the next better thing.
But they all work out.
They do.
Whether it lasts for an infinite amount of time, or if it lasts for 3 weeks, it worked out, because you got what you needed, you learned a lesson, they learned a lesson, and you move on with grace.
Yeah, you definitely would. I mean, if everything was a bunch of levels, you wouldn't want to go on level 2 and you're meant to be on level 4, 5, 6, but you're like, well, I'm just with this person. I'm gonna stay with this person. I'm just on level 2. Like sometimes you're meant for more. You're meant for a different experience, something that causes you to grow in a different way.
That's such a good point, because so many times when I'm working one-on-one with my clients, I hear so many people say, I want to grow and evolve and change and blossom, but my partner doesn't. And they feel stuck because they want to evolve, but they love their partner, and their partner is not willing to change, to grow, to expand, to learn. And at this point, you really have to get honest with yourself and say, is this positively serving me anymore? Will this help me to continue to grow? And if the answer is no, you know what to do.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. A lot of times, we play small and we stay in specific situations that don't benefit us at all, and it doesn't help us, and it doesn't help the other person, and we just kind of stay there because we're comfortable, because we've gotten used to it, and we've built up that habit over time where, again, we've identified with the story that we're with this person, and that makes us stay with these people for like way too long. Like again, you deserve an experience that's great. So start telling yourself this other story. Yeah, and if the fear arises of like, but what if there's not someone available for me? Then you need to drop that story as well, because there are an infinite... Get on Tinder. I mean, swipe left and right. It can't be that tough anymore. There's an infinite amount of people out there that want to love you and that want to learn from you and help you grow. So if you open yourself up by sharing the story of, I am lovable and I am here to grow and expand, and I open myself up to receive that support or those relationships that will help me to grow to that next level, then you'll be attracting them into your life. Yeah, that's a super powerful story to start doing. Yeah. And we're going to come into the ultimate tip. This is the ultimate tip. If you've dealt with heartbreak, if you're going through heartbreak or anything like that, this is how you solve it. And it's going to be This is going to be one of the hardest steps, but this is it. And you have to forgive them, you have to thank them, and you have to accept the apology that you will never receive. And once you've done that, you let go of all the emotional baggage. So it means that, like, if you got into emotional eating from the relationship, that stuff starts to fall away because you let them go. Like, let them move on and go through what they need to go through, and you start to go through what you need to go through to move your life forward. And like doing that it's just so releasing. You'll feel your shoulders just go. I was just about to say, being an empath, I can feel everyone's energy watching right now. Like, I felt a huge release off of my heart. So I want to invite you to do that right now in this moment, because most of us have somewhere stored away in the dark corners of our heart a little bit of unforgiveness or resentment. So let's take a moment to heal that pain. So as I did in the beginning, I want to invite you to breathe in beautiful healing light. Imagine it as if it were green, glowing, golden light, and breathe that into your heart space and fill it with this high vibrating energy, because you have the intention. Your power and your intention will create the healing. You have to ask for help though. So we're here to help you by inviting you to take that healing breath in with intention that you're releasing and feeling that pain disappear, and you're bringing in more peace and more love into your heart. So on this next inhale, let's do it together. Let's breathe in this beautiful healing golden light of love. And relax it all out, knowing that forgiveness is the key to your freedom. It's not letting the other person off the hook, but it's allowing you to let love back into your heart. Boom. Woo! See, the deal about the forgiveness part of this, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to forgive them. They did this to me. The longer you say that part, the longer it will take you to be where you want to be. I mean, the longer that you hold on to any kind of grudge or hate somebody and stuff, it's less love that you can go ahead and pour out into the world, and you keep that with you, and you take that with you into the next relationship, and so eventually it manifests in the same way because you haven't forgiven that person. How are you going to forgive this person? People are going to screw up. It's just going to happen. And so once you start to be able to forgive and get in that space where you're like, I'm going to let it go. They're just a person. They're going through stuff. We're all going through stuff. They didn't mean it. It wasn't a personal attack on me. And, people are afraid of love. We're not taught these kinds of things. But love is the thing that feels so good. Yeah, we spend so much time praising our analytical mind and doing analytical things. And that, love is not made in the mind. Love is something that you experience. Love is something you feel in the heart. You can't think your way through love. You just have to feel it. Dang, I'm on a roll today. You are. It's just the lipstick. It is, guys. I got this new lipstick from Unicorn Crate, and ColourPop made an awesome lavender lip gloss. I'm totally jamming on it. Woo! You want some kisses? Oh.
All right, guys. I hope this helped you to see from a new perspective that you can choose to let love in at any time, and you can change your story of suffering into one of empowerment and encouragement and inspiration. And when you do that, you inspire other people to do that as well, because we're all in this together, guys. And as we rise, we lift each other up. So let's do this together by being the loving person, by being the kind person.
Yeah, and get out there and kick some ass.
Erica says you can't think your way through love.
There you go.
Booyah.
Have a great weekend,
Have
guys.
a great weekend. We love you guys so much. And if you have any topics that you would like us to cover here on The Elevated Life, please leave them in the comments below. We love tackling anything you guys throw at us from any category of life, whether it be health, wealth, loving yourself, spirituality, whatever it may be, growing your business. I mean, whatever you want to talk about, we love helping you to raise your energy and your mindset to the next level of growth and expansion. So we look forward to hearing from you. Leave your topics and ideas below, and we'll see you next Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Elevated Life series. Have a good weekend. Bye.